What's up, guys? So, I keep getting a lot of questions about what I'm eating in the off season, etc. So, go ahead and give you all a full day of eating. What we're gonna do is pop off of meal one. Meal one is 300 grams of rice, 200 grams of 96.4 beef by Cali Cooks, and then I have 20 grams of dates in here, one whole egg. I haven't been doing eggs lately just because I feel like it was messing with my stomach, but I feel like I've got it back on track. And if it wasn't the eggs, I'm going to find out. So I'm putting one whole egg back in here. And I also have 130 grams, comes out to 60 grams of carbs worth of sourdough, like I said. So that's that. And then I will put some sugar-free jam on there. Nerdy Sanchez on the beef and rice with the egg. That's my go-to pretty much every morning. It's like a sweet and hot taco sauce. Not real hot, but it's pretty good. You can use that Flavor Gang and Cali Cooks with the beef, code Abbott. Yeah, so that's meal one, and then I'll see y'all for meal two. Guys, so we're back with meal two, my pre-workout meal, and it's going to be a very basic pre-workout meal for me, I would say. I used to do some Pop-Tarts, I have a muffin, etc. in my pre-workout, but I felt like it was just kind of messing with my stomach, and I was trying to figure out, like I said earlier, like I feel like the eggs were, so I was really trying to figure out exactly what was messing with my gut, my digestion and stuff like that, just feeling bloated constantly. So I just stripped it all back to the bare basics, the minimum, and then knowing what digests well with my body and then running it from there. So you're not gonna see any muffins or anything like that here, but it does taste pretty good. So here we got 200 grams of cooked weight fish, but I don't actually do it as cooked weight. I do 300 grams of raw weight, and it kind of equals the same. It's like right at 55 grams of protein out of fish. Very low fat. And then I have 350 grams of jasmine rice. Then I put some sweet poppy sauce on there by Flavor Gang. Use code Abbott. Put that on there. Dip my fish in as I go. I make my fish real crispy. As you can kind of see right there, it's very, very crispy. So I'll just break that off, put it on a piece of bread, which I'll show y'all in a second, and then dip it like that. So like I said, I was doing a muffin or a Pop-Tart packet pre-workout. I don't know if you can see that, but I stopped doing that and I just do equal carbs of that and sourdough. So this right here is 75 grams of carbs from sourdough. And then I will have 2 packets of the Simplex honey and salt. All it is straight honey and salt. So the salt and the sodium is going to be good for the pump. That's why I use a pre-workout. And then it's honey just for quick, simple sugars, healthy sugars. That's how I do that. So this ends up being, like I said, I'll put the macros on the screen for each meal, and there will be a total at the end, but it comes out to right at about 220 carbs for this meal. Pre-workout's a big meal. The fish is a little lighter, only 50 grams of protein from that. Yeah, and it's a pretty good size meal. Oh, and I forgot, I will put, because a muffin or a Pop-Tart normally has a little bit of fat, and then I'll put a little bit of almond butter on there. I'll show you the almond butter that I actually use. It is Ifbb pecan pie almond butter. So I'll put about 10 grams on the last couple pieces of bread that I have. Yeah, and then I'll show you, because you're probably wondering, like, this dude puts fish on bread. So on sourdough, what I'll do is I'll take this piece of sourdough. Of course, it's air fried, so it's good and toasted. I'll take some rice, just like this, put it on there. And then I'll take a piece of this fish. Like I said, it's flaky, it's crispy. So you can see it just kind of breaks off. Take a piece of the fish, put it on there. And then I'll take a little bit of mustard or a little bit of sweet poppy sauce. And well, I'll do that with about, I don't know, 4 slices of this bread right here. And then the last couple slices, I'll put the honey and the pecan pie almond butter. It's gas. Just meal down. And then I'll show you my my intra, and my post-workout nutrition. All right, guys, like I said, I'm gonna show you on my pre, intra, and post, and we're gonna start with our post-workout meal. So for my post-workout meal, I've been doing Rice Krispies. I used to always do Flavor Gang, and I'll probably switch back to that when the off season's kind of over and prep starts again. I still do it sometimes, but it's just, this is so easy to throw in, and it's kind of, I feel like it digests a little differently. And I'm not super like flavor focused right now, so I'm just doing Rice Krispies, the same measurement as I would as the Flavor Gang. So it calls for My meal calls for 130 grams, but I also have 3 rice cakes. So what I do is I just go ahead and put 170 grams of Rice Krispie cereal. So I don't have to do the rice cakes. It's basically the same thing. It's just cereal, or it's just, you know, rice. So rice-based cereal. And then I'm supposed to do 100 or 50 or 30 grams of dates, but I also have 150 grams of fruit, and I also have honey. So with me, and I'll go ahead and tell you this, my coach is Ty Woosley, and I've been with him long enough that he trusts me in what I'm going to do. And like, I don't necessarily have macros. I actually have a diet plan, but if I want to do more fruit instead of dates, or if I want to do all dates instead of a little bit of fruit and a little bit of dates, or like you just saw that I do rice cakes, supposed to be in my plan 3 rice cakes, but I just want to go ahead and do that in rice cereal, I will just add all that up and like put basically macro match it. But it's really the same. Like I don't even have like 150 grams of banana. It just has 150 grams of fruit. So what I do is I'm going to take the honey, the dates, and the fruit, and I'm just going to make it all just fruit. So what I do is I'll do 300 grams of fruit. So I have a banana right here. This is probably going to be about 120 to 130. We'll see. It's 142. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and cut it up. Well, that's a big piece, but I'll go ahead and cut it up. Other thing, I feel like this Rice Krispie cereal like this, it just keeps better when you're taking it with you. Like I'm going to eat this right after the gym, so I'm going to take it with me. It just seems like the whey drip on top of the cream of rice just sometimes kind of gets weird. It doesn't go bad, but it just kind of gets weird. So I'm going to do 300 grams of total fruit. So this is 143 of banana. So I'll just basically go up to 300 the rest of the way with blueberries. I really like these frozen blueberries. I'm gonna use frozen banana too, because I'll put it in my little cooler, my little lunchbox, and it'll stay cold until after the workout. And for the protein source, I'm gonna be using Imminent Nutrition's chocolate peanut butter flavor IsoPro, code Abbott as well on all Imminent products. This digests really, really well, and it tastes really, really good too. All of their flavors are spot on. So I'll do 2 scoops of this, which comes out to right at 72 grams of weight. So I always weigh out my protein powder. I used to not to, but I do now. This is a post-workout meal. It's very low in fat, just basically all carbs. Right there, that's my post-workout meal. Already ready to go, but I'll also put 1/4 tablespoon of regular iodized sea salt in there. And then I don't really measure this. I just kind of eyeball it. This is no salt. Basically, it's just straight potassium. So I like to have a little bit of sodium and potassium, especially if you're a guy that's taking stuff like maybe like growth hormone or anything like that, and you're getting a little bit of water retention or anything. Add a little bit more potassium in your diet. Not crazy amount, because that can be bad too, but just to kind of balance those out, because a lot of people do not get enough potassium in their diet. So that's post-workout meal, ready to go. Now we'll make intra-workout. Intra-workout is pretty much like a meal. That's what I tell people. Have 7 meals a day if you think about it. Do 5 grams of creatine in my intra, so 5 grams of creatine in my pre. I just split those up, no particular reason. This is creatine by Imminent Nutrition. You can also use code Abbott on that as well. And then my intra calls for, I'll just weigh this out. It's 2 scoops basically, so around 15 grams of EAAs. And that'll be right at 20 grams of weight. This is Imminent Nutrition's fuel. So it's the EAA and BCA product. And it also has a little bit of L-carnitine in it as well. Help a little bit of fatty oxidation while you're training. But this is the Mighty Mango flavor. And then I have 100 grams of carbs, but I'll split 25 in my pre. So while I'm driving to the gym, I'm getting 25 grams of carbs. And then I'll do 75 grams of carbs in my intra. So I drink this whole intra, this Gasp shaker or ice shaker container. It's right about 2.5 liters, like 64 No, it's right at 2 liters, so it's 64 ounces or something like that. Anyways, I'll do 75 grams of carbs in my intra, and then I'll do 25 grams in my pre. And for my carbs, a lot of people use Carbolin, they use highly branched chain dextrin, stuff like that. Me, I don't digest Carbolin very well because it's potato, rice. It seems like it just sits in my stomach, especially doing 100 grams worth. I just don't use it. And then HCBD, it definitely is a good quality carb source, and I probably should use that, prefer to use it. I will use it in prep, but all season when you're doing 100 grams worth of carbs, it can get kind of pricey. I think it's like almost $2 to $3 per like serving, which is like 25 grams. Add that up, that's like $8 to $12 every intra-workout. I'm just not for it. And I get this big thing of just like basically sugar, if you really just want to break it down. It's just fruit punch, Kool-Aid powder. I get this from H-E-B. It's like $5 for this big thing, and it's got, if you look at it, it's 25 grams of carbs per serving, and there's 75 servings in here. For $5, you can't beat that. So it'll last me a while, and that's what I do. So then in here, I already put it in there. Sorry, you don't get to see it, but there's a scoop of push, and there's a scoop of pump by Eminent Nutrition. Like I said, code Abbott on that if you want to save on it, or if you want to try it and you want to support me, go ahead and do it. I use the push and the pump because I want the pump and I want a little bit of caffeine stim, but not a whole lot. So I actually just have half scoop in here. Half scoop of push, which is their kind of stem-based pre-workout, but it does have the pump. It's like an all-in-one. And then a scoop of the pump, which has 8 grams of citrulline in it. So it's going to be really good for your pump, and that's my pre. And then I put, like I said, 25 grams of carbs and 5 grams of creatine in there. And that's it. So that's my pre, my intra, and my post-workout. Calories and macros and stuff will be up on the screen. You can check that out, but that's how I fuel my workout and, make sure I'm performing good. See y'all after the workout for the post-workout meal. Y'all see me eat that probably in my truck or something, and then we'll go on from there for the rest of the day. All right, guys, so straight post-workout directly after the lift. As you can see, absolute recomp. We're absolute recomp. We got the post-workout meal I showed y'all earlier. Just Rice Krispies, 160 grams, 2 scoops of ISO Pro by Eminent Nutrition, chocolate peanut butter flavor, and then 300 grams total of fruit with 20 grams of honey. Simple, easy to get down, and I'll be ready to eat probably within an hour and 30 minutes, and show y'all that. That will be meal 4. Yep, meal 4, and then we have some more to go on the way. So crazy session today. My numbers are up across the board, which is really, really nice. Got the M-Tech incline converging press, whatever, the advanced one, 7 plates for 10 reps a day. That's one rep up from last week on my top set. That's kind of what I'm gauging my strength off, is those, but also across the board, reps were up. So that's good. We'll be able to go up in weight. Anyways, like I said, post-workout meal going down on the drive home, and then we'll get into meal 4 next. All right, guys, so we're back from meal 4. Me and Daisy just got back from a little walk, and what I do is I got frozen spinach right here. There's 50 grams of frozen spinach. I go ahead and throw that in the microwave and get it kind of, thawed out. And then we got Cali Cooks chicken, code Abbott to grab some of that. We got rice, already made up, jasmine rice. Then we have an apple. Yep, be dates, but like I said, me and Ty are pretty on the same page as long as my fruit kind of equals out. Like, we're doing dates because it's supposed to be less volume, but I feel like I've been trying to figure out the digestion issue, and I almost feel like dates have too much, I think it's called xylitol or something like that in there, some type of fiber that just is just too much when I eat it in that much quantity. I normally have like dates for every single meal, and it just becomes too much. So what I've been doing is just the same amount of apple as far as like carb wise, switched out with dates, if that makes sense. So Then we'll have some avocado oil. So I'll also change this out with avocado sometimes if I'm feeling like I'm a little more hungry. So we have 300 grams of rice. If you'll notice, if you've ever followed me before, you'll see that like I get up to like in the off season eating like 500-600 grams of rice in a meal. And I've done something a little different this off season, just basically to try to keep food volume lower, is with dates. And then also this meal has 60 grams of carbs from sourdough, but I can switch that out for rice cakes too. So I have some tomato basil rice cakes. I'll switch that out and it'll come out to like 5 rice cakes or something like that. And I'll switch that out with the sourdough back and forth, whatever I want for that time. And then we'll just do it from there. And then as far as like the meat wise, like I said, we have Cali Cook's chicken. This is like the easiest meal prep ever. They deliver to the destination if you're around the area. They're actually based out of Houston, but just straight up chicken breast. Nothing glamorous about this. So good old chicken, rice, and some spinach. And we're doing 200 grams cooked weight. Yep, perfect. 200 grams of cooked weight. Just throw that in the microwave. I'll throw it in there for like 3 minutes. I like my food really warm when it comes out. Then I'll put 10 grams of olive oil or avocado oil on there. Is the same amount of dates, comes out to about 110 grams of apple, so I'll just cut this up. It's actually pretty close normally. I get these really big gala apples, and really half of the apple is normally right at 110 grams. Yep, right at 110 grams. It's literally on the dot. So what I do though, 108, like that's pretty much on. I'm not gonna worry about that. Then I'll just eat the rest of this other apple with meal 5. Take this little piece of apple, cut it up. If you got a favorite type of apple, let me know in the comments. If you're not eating a cold gala apple out of the refrigerator, you're missing out. And these tomato basil rice cakes, you see my muscle and strength video, my grocery haul, you know I'm a nut for these. Now, if you're talking about the sweet version of rice cakes, I'm gonna have to go chocolate, because you put like chocolate and you put some almond butter or peanut butter on there. Just dumb. So I got these, I'm pretty sure these are 11. Yeah, 11 grams of carbs. So I'll just do 5, close enough for the all season. In prep, I may be a little more anal about it, but anyways. Basically, that's meal 4 right there. I will show y'all the finished product when I'm about to eat it. All right, guys, so this is the finished product right here. We got 300 grams of rice with 10 grams of oil. There's some spinach up under there. I'm sure you already saw that. Then we got Cali Cook's chicken, 200 grams. Then we're gonna take some sweet nutty right here. Flavor Gang, code Abbott. Put a little bit on that. I don't really go overboard sauce, so about that much is enough for me. Then we got 5 tomato basil rice cakes for about 60-ish carbs. And then we got 110 grams of apple. So, number 4. Got 2 more meals. The next one is going to look very, very similar to this, but that's the life of a bodybuilder. You're going to eat chicken and rice a lot. So, calories, macros, breakdown, all that'll be on the screen. And I'll see y'all for meal 5. So we're back with meal 5. Yeah, this is meal 5. It's just like the last one, just no sourdough. So this one is 200 grams of chicken from Cali Cooks and 300 grams of jasmine rice. And instead of the avocado oil, I actually did avocado this time. So this is like 66 grams, 67, something like that on the scale. Basically, because my girlfriend, Lexi, she eats avocado, and in her meal plan, I have oil, but I can't stand seeing an avocado like cut in half, getting like nasty in the refrigerator. So I eat it pretty much. And then it's supposed to be dates, but like I told y'all, I sub it out. This is apples. I feel like apples really help my digestion. I guess because it's a lot more fiber, but it's a different type of fiber than dates. So anyways, I've been doing the apples lately, but pretty much it. Then I'll put quarter tablespoon of iodized sea salt and a little bit of that no salt that I was talking about earlier. And I forgot to mention on the post-workout meal, so this is just a regular base plan day. So this is all my training days except for leg days, which I have 2. Those are significantly higher. Like this meal has, instead of like 30 grams of dates normally, it has like 60 grams of dates and then 60 grams of carbs again from the sourdough like I did earlier on the other meal. And then my post-workout meal is like 220 grams of the rice cereal instead of 160 like it was today, or 170. But besides that, that's about all I forgot. So meal 5 on the last one. Guys, so back with meal 5. But before we get into meal 5, we'll talk about my little gut drink I got going on here. Actually, I got 2, if you think about it, gut drinks. And some supplements we're going to talk about. So this one right here is Gut Revival by Cement Factory. So this is AJ Sims' company. Just started taking this when I was having some stomach issues, and it's helped out like incredibly. So I definitely recommend that. I take a serving of that in the morning, a serving in the evening, like with first and last meal. And then I'm always going to take creatine as well before I go to bed. I'll do 10 grams of that. So I'm at like 30 grams of creatine a day. And then, of course, L-glutamine. The Gut Revival already has glutamine in it. I just add another 5 grams to it to make it 10. I did 10 3 times a day, so another 30 grams of glutamine. Just really good for your gut lining and stuff like that. Then in my shaker cup, if you can see it, it's like red. This is actually kombucha. It's got good natural probiotics in there. So it's fermented fruit, or not fermented fruit, but it's fermented. So it has like natural probiotics that are, you're not going to worry about the supplements. So a lot of supplements don't really have great like breakdown and stuff like that of their probiotics, but that's what's in this, is those. And then this right here is Ultimate GI Heal by Authentic Aminos. This is my peptide sponsor. This right here is really good. It's got BPC and GHK, KPV in it, and there's a few other things like zinc carnosine in there. Take one of these in the morning and in the evening. You can use code Abbott to grab those. Notice when I don't have those, I notice a complete difference on my digestion. When I have it, everything's good. And then, of course, you're going to take your TB and BPC. This is just for recovery. I'm just throwing this in here. This is Heal. They have Heal Pro, which has the GHK in there as well. I have one right here, Pro. So it's got the GHK and stuff in there. That's why it's blue. It's BPC and TB, and just the Heal by itself. I take that post-workout and before I go to bed. Just helps with healing. Anyways, you can use code Abbott to save on that. So if you want to support. Then for meal 5, it is 200 grams of 96.4 beef, Cali Cooks, and then we have 100 grams of carbs from jasmine rice, which is 350 grams, and then we have 100 grams of blueberries. If you want to see in here, got the blueberries going on. But I like this little combo. I started doing it a couple months back. I know it sounds weird, blueberries and beef, but I don't know. And it's kind of satisfying that it's turns the rice like purple. But throw a little bit of no salt on there, which is the potassium, and then a little bit of salt on there, and then I'll put a little bit of Nerdy Sanchez. This is my go-to for like my beef meals right here. Again, you can use code Abbott again on that. Meal 6, and my gut drink that I do in the morning and the evening. That's a full day of eating. Hope y'all enjoy it. If you have any questions or anything like that, you can leave them in the comments. But the macros, like I said, should be on every single meal, the breakdown, and then the full total. It'll be on the screen as well, but I'll go ahead and tell you the full total. You can pause the video or whatever if it shows up. But yeah, like I said, that is going to be at the very end as well on the screen. But thanks for watching. Turns out good. I'll do some more. But I also noticed in the video, the previous videos, that there's like a little bar going through the video. Well, that's my fault. The thing was on manual, the exposure, and so some of those videos are going to have some bars running through it, like a little black line. Sorry, but my first time doing it. So hope y'all enjoy. Like, subscribe, all that stuff, and catch you on the next one.